It is officially fall. It is the very first day of autumn, at least the day that I'm recording this video. And it seems like we celebrate Halloween a little bit earlier every single year. But it's time to put on your Halloween shoes and truly embrace the season. It's Halloween. Can you feel it? I can feel it. And today, in celebration of that, I have a very special unboxing, candle and wax unboxing from Washington Wicks. Washington Wicks is a micro production candle company out of Washington State. Nikki, the proprietor and candle maker of Washington Wicks, we've been friends since the beginning of the Candle Enthusiast channel, which also is when she kind of started making candles. So we've been in this creative joint candle adventure together, and I'm always excited to see what she sends me, especially around Halloween. I have this mystery box. She sent me this box right here. I have no idea what's inside. I haven't smelled anything. I haven't read any fragrance notes. That is the whole point. We're gonna open this thing up, break everything out, and I'm gonna do a little bit of my sensory evaluation. I'm gonna smell, and I'm gonna tell you all the little elements that I get, but also emotionally where these fragrances take me. Are you ready? I'm always ready. I even have my knife prepared today. I didn't lose it, and I sharpened it for this video. I should really be careful waving this thing around. All right, so making the first incision, and look at that. Oh man. I believe Nikki calls these wax shots. They're massive. Hey now, this. What is this? Dylan's Cottage Bakery Unicorn Blend Coffee. Any of you guys who really know me know how much I love my coffee. Unicorn Blend. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Nikki's always sending me little goodies, retro candies, sour candies. She sent me once the hottest gummy bear in the world. It's called Little Nitro. And let me tell you, that was not the most pleasant of experiences. Little Nitro, the world's hottest gummy bear. This is a real warning. This product is extremely spicy and has the potential to cause skin and or mouth irritation. 9 million Scoville unit chili extract, making him 900 times hotter than a jalapeno. Here comes the hiccups. Oh yeah. Whew. It's like ignited fumes going down the gullet. Whew. That's gonna do it for today, guys. Thank you for joining Smell It Sunday, where we do sometimes crazy things. We smell things that smell good. We talk about nostalgia, and we have hot gummy bears. Little Nitro. I'm fine. I'm fine. And to top it all off, I did it on a live stream. There's a candle, but let me not open everything up yet. This box. Again, I'm not going to open this up all just yet. Milk cups really should come first. Let's take a look at this first one. Breakfast with Bigfoot. What could that be? There are fragrance notes on this cup, but let's not look at them. Where does that take you? Pacific Northwest? In the morning? Boggy? Mist? Tall coniferous trees, creeks and running water and stones and rocks. Maybe you're camping and you open up that tent, zip, and Bigfoot is just sitting out on the foldable lawn chair by the smoldering fire from the night before, and he's eating all of your food. And you're like, well, this is Bigfoot. I'm not gonna just shoo him away. I should just sit down and join him and share a cup of coffee. Or this could be a terrifying experience. I mean, it is Halloween after all. So let's give this a sniff. Oh, God. So I already had some guesses. Nikki had this amazing coffee melt that she gave me the last time I did a Washington Wicks unboxing in the shape of a coffee bean. I'm getting a whole lot of that coffee bean. So my premonition of sharing a cup of coffee with Bigfoot happened to be correct. You see why I propose those questions before I sniff? You know, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Yeah, Fats Domino, right? I'm smelling a blue fruit syrup. International House of Pancakes, utilizing all of those syrups on the table. But let's face it, the one that we truly need to try. We're not going to just do the basic maple syrup. We could do that at home. We could do that anywhere. But it's the boysenberry that truly brings it to the next level. I'm not saying I necessarily smell boysenberry, but that is what it's reminding me of. For safe measure, I'm going to say a blueberry maple syrup, or just say blueberry syrup. The maple part is not really an element, although the coffee bean could arguably have this smoky, nutty, woody effect, which could complete this image of blueberry maple syrup. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not strawberry. It's not red fruit. This is blue or black bramble fruit. This could just be the coffee note, but I'm getting a little bit of an amaretto fruitiness and nuttiness. Amaretto is a liqueur. It's made out of stone fruits and almonds. It has that lusciousness, you know, maybe even a little bit of Bailey's Irish cream that we would put into a cup of coffee. And this coffee bean is not a deep, dark, espresso, super smoky kind of thing. This is really more of a lighter roast, medium roast, nutty, even like a little bit of Kahlua, the little Irish cream cups. There's no spices here. No cinnamon or any of the classic baking spices, but there's something that's pulling me into you know, like Eggo waffles. Maybe because it's a little bit buttery, you know, it's a little bit salty. I think that's what it is. There's something a little bit savory. This doesn't just make me want to drink a cup of coffee. This candle is actually making me hungry. Yeah, man, this is like IHOP. This is, or Waffle House, wherever you go when you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna kill it for breakfast. Like, I'm not counting calories. I'm getting the stack of pancakes. I'm getting the butter salty corn flapjacks, coins, whatever you call them. That is honestly the honest to goodness truth here. I'm going in for the kill. Bring it all to me. And that is awesome, because considering the name of this candle, Breakfast with Bigfoot, the fact that it's truly making me want breakfast, getting me hungry, getting me in the mood for some coffee, I think that really says something. There is butter, that high octane butter, that little, you know, sometimes massive ball of butter that they put on top of the pancakes at IHOP. I don't know what's in that stuff, but seriously, that is not just butter. There's something in that, because it is insanely addictive. IHOP, what are you doing? But anyway, I can't think of a better location to enjoy this breakfast. Out in the wilderness, in the Pacific Northwest, tucked away in the forest, by the water, camping in a tent, sitting side by side on a log maybe with Bigfoot, drinking some coffee, some flapjacks and blueberry syrup, freshly picked. You know, he's got his little wicker basket, you know, Bigfoot. He's going around picking fresh blueberries and even making his own blueberry jam or syrup. Buttermilk pancakes, apple butter, hazelnut coffee. Well, first of all, every time I talk about sweetened coffee, I'm mentioning hazelnut. And this is the one time I didn't say hazelnut creamer. But man, you know, apple butter, I mean, I definitely see that. But I mean, one of the first things I smelled on this candle was that blue fruit, that syrup. And buttermilk pancakes, that makes perfect sense. Really, what I'm picking up out of that buttermilk pancakes is that butter, the scoop of butter, the saltiness, and just the overall savoriness of whether it be a pancake or a waffle. I'm okay with my initial reaction on this. I wouldn't take it back. I definitely smell blue fruit, but apple butter definitely makes sense, and hazelnut coffee, absolutely. I think that's where that amaretto comes in. Man, that is one breakfast. But let's move on. Candle number 2, Nana's Kitchen. It's very sweet. You know, I think one of the most nostalgic things aromatically that is deeply embedded in us is the smell of our grandmother's kitchen. I'm willing to put a bet there's going to be some baking spices, but let's give this a sniff. Yes. This is like you just opened those cabinets and you just put your head inside and you can't really decipher one spice from the other. You're taking it in as this homogeneous experience, this one aroma. The raw gingerbread cookie dough. Yes, the raw cookie dough. You know that smell. All of the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients incorporated into that big ball that's covered in all-purpose flour and it's sitting in the aluminum bowl. You can see it. There's flour all over the kitchen. So I'm gonna say nutmeg, clove, ginger. That really is building a pumpkin pie spice. There is a sweetness here that is contributing to balancing out the spice. So it's not just all spices. The sweetness cuts the spice. Because we're dealing with a ginger-based cookie thing, at least that's what I'm getting, we gotta throw in some molasses. Maybe that is the sweetness that I'm getting. I have to consider that. Something that this is reminding me of was an experience I had at Old Sturbridge Village in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. I was told that I had to try the Joe Frogger cookie. This cookie, it can only be found in a few places in the world, but one of those places is in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. I didn't even think I was going to be able to find one. They told me they're all sold out. But this thing was one of the most decadently delicious cookies I ever had in my life. And this candle, this wax, is really bringing me back to that experience. Brown sugar. I said molasses, baking spices, so the mixture is not in here, but like I said, I was getting nutmeg, clove, and the ginger predominantly. Pie crust. Yes, that was the dry ingredients I was getting. That all-purpose flour, that smell of raw dough. Nana's Kitchen. Very successful candle if you ask me, and a delicious candle. But let's move on to candle number 3, Under the Vanilla Moon. Under the Vanilla Moon. This one you need to think about before you smell. I think when we're children, the moon is such a mystery to us. We don't know what it is. We don't know how far away it is. So let's see if any of that unfolds. Let's give this a go. Okay, I'm really gonna have to try hard with this one because not what I was expecting, but it's a pleasant surprise. You just split open that high quality Madagascar vanilla bean and you just scraped out all of that goodness. I would say more perfume, like a very musky, intense perfume aroma here. But purple. I'm seeing purple. So I'm gonna say dried lavender. It's a sweet floral. I mean, this is ready to go. You know, bring out a bottle of body mist. Men and women, you name it. I think a lot of people not only want to burn, but I think a lot of people would love to wear this scent. And it smells super clean with the florals and that musk. Fragrance notes: vanilla bean ice cream, lilac petals. Okay, Okay, but there's more. There's like a eucalyptus thing here too. To boil it down to vanilla bean ice cream and lilac petals, that's beautiful to write it on here. But to break this down, not that this is a full-blown out candle evaluation, but if I were to do a full-blown out candle evaluation, I wouldn't just boil it down to vanilla ice cream and lilac petals because there's so much going on here. It took me to read the fragrance notes, to smell the eucalyptus. I wouldn't be surprised if there's patchouli in here as well, because it does have that earthy, woody, herbal smell. Under the Vanilla Moon by Washington Wicks. Now we have these 3 mystery cups. No names, just listed 1, 2, and 3. I know what these are, but I'm wondering if I should say it in front of the camera. Let's say that these may or may not end up being a collaboration, if you will. But I'll leave it at that. I'm going to smell these later. Stay posted about this topic, because maybe there's going to be a fun collaboration. Maybe. We'll see. All right, what next? The box or the candle? Let's check out the box. What's in the box? Vampire treats. There are some pink or bloody frillies. Woo! This is yet another melt. Look at that. A set of vampire teeth. I mean, this is like a full-size cupcake for a child. Ooh. What I'm smelling is lemon juice and lemon zest, but where it's taking me is Little League Baseball, the Italian ices. Lemon zest, lemon verbena. So you're even getting this green feel to it as well. So we're in this citrus grove, and somebody brought cane sugar. They thought it would be a good idea to bring tons of sugar so that you could make simple syrup or sweet water and make a pitcher of lemonade and then freeze that sucker. Freeze it. Yeah, so the blood red, diluted by the white, becomes this pink. It seeps all the way in through the wax melt. I can see it running all the way through. With that said, I think there is a sour cherry, kind of like the sour cherry you would get from a Gatorade, like Arctic Blast cherry. The rocket pop, the red, white, and blue massive rocket pop. What is the flavor of a rocket pop? I would say cherry, maybe blueberry, I don't know, but definitely lemon. I don't think blood tastes great. I've licked a cut before, very iron rich, but you would imagine to a vampire, blood would smell as delectable as something like this, a sweet treat. But that is potent. That is potent, and it's big, and it comes in a very big box with, in this light, it looks like pink frillies, but they are indeed blood red. We have one thing left to do, and that is we have to unveil what's inside of this tissue paper, which won't be hard. It's kind of already coming off. This is what I'm talking about with the Washington Wicks. The labels. It has such a distinct style. It's most certainly the same artist. These labels are synonymous with Washington Wicks aesthetics. I love it. DARKLORE Manor, like folklore, but only darker. Looking at this label, gargantuan house, a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher, perhaps. This guy, he's welcoming us in. He's got his hand extended. That is the universal gesture. Come on in. So we got to go up that foggy path, and I'm sure that's a long distance based on the perspective, to go up that hill and knock on those wooden front doors. Wooden doors. They're probably at least that thick, and it is a very blue, foggy night out. But what does it smell like? Okay, so we're inside. We've already knocked on those doors, and we were greeted by someone with a very Vincent Price-like voice, right? So you wanted to visit a haunted house, I'm not trying to do Vincent. I can't do Vincent Price. can't do it. Come on in, come on in. Why do I say it's inside? Because this is not outdoorsy. As soon as I stuck my nose into this jar, it was like opening those doors into the manor and walking in. This manor has home fragrance, musky and almost kind of a sexy, seductive way. Hear me out, hear me out. But if you don't want to think floral musk, think about how similar floral musk can sometimes smell like leather. And in that case, and if this is leather, imagine everything inside of this manor that could be made out of leather. The easy one is going to be the library, the lounge, the furniture, the leather-bound books. But what about the wardrobe, right? Who lives in this DARKLORE manor? I said seductive, so I have to go there, you know. And I like that I went there so quick, because I think what the muskiness reminds me here, even though I've never really had this experience, I don't think, you know, I feel like I am in a room where a very ghostly white woman is powdering her face, right? She's doing her makeup, she's doing her hair. What do you call those spaces? The powder room. Is there another name for it? It's a powder room, right? Okay, she's powdering her face. You know, when you say she, this feeling like you're backstage at an ancient show in the early 20th century, and the lead actress is being, you know, she's putting on all of her makeup. She belongs in one of those shows. A stage performance of Dracula, maybe something inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. You know, the curtain and the stage, the proscenium stage, everything, the lighting is beautiful. But anyone who's ever been to one of these movie houses is that it looks pretty out front, but you get behind those curtains and things get pretty dark and pretty spooky quite fast. Oh yes, all of the money is spent out there, but backstage, dark, cold, slabs of wood and wet paint, and somewhere, usually down below the actual floor of the theater, is the makeup room, right? And I see this woman there, right? She's putting on this makeup, the racks of clothing that she's going to wear, all the different changes of wardrobe she's going to make throughout the performance. Okay, so this woman is an actress of a certain time, of a certain genre, but the manor, the night that we visit the manor, her prime has passed. Kind of like in a Sunset Boulevard, Gloria Swanson kind of way. You know, she was everything. She was the actress to cast in only the biggest horror plays, onstage plays. And now she's become this recluse inside of her manor, ashamed by her monstrous form. But she doesn't know that she's still beautiful. But she can't stand the sights of her, of looking at herself in the mirror. Oh, I'm going deep here. I'm going deep. Maybe the chair is covered in leather, but I'm saying she's got this Stevie Nicks thing going on, right? This guy's wearing a top hat. Maybe she's wearing a top hat. So she's got like some kind of flowy Stevie Nicks leather shawl thing, or maybe it's just a vest, the vest part of it, and she's got one of those Tom Petty hats, the flat top hats. Shows that had shock value, that had horror. Back in the late 1800s and the early 20th century, shows like this were very, very popular, to go and be spooked and see romance, dark romance on stage. And even the guy on the label is kind of, you know, it has a little bit of this ticket taker, you know, little guy at the box office kind of feel, or maybe the usher that leads you to your seat. I'm really going off on a tangent here, but this is the whole point of this exercise. She's secluded in her manor, this house that was refurbished from an old monastery. Yeah, so all of the walls are are cement and stone and hard surfaces, so your voice, even at a whisper, echoes throughout the entire place. She's coming down the grand staircase like Dracula, and she's got her hands out like this, and there's wind just blowing her hair, her frillies. We're inside. Where's this wind come from? I don't know, but it's a dark place. She says, "Welcome to this evening of grand delight." And that's a pretty vague statement, especially when you've walked into this very large, mysterious place. And I don't know about you, but I'm walking into this manor alone. I'm not with anybody. And she's kind of promising me this evening that's going to be like a party of some kind. What is she going to do? What does she have in mind? This is scary. I got to get out of here. You know, and this guy's not going to help me. Maybe when the theater closed down, she hired the ticket taker to be her chauffeur at this house, in this mansion, in this manor. And things all went downhill from there. And arguably, we could be dealing with some vanilla here to soften up the muskiness, but I'm also getting that purple thing. If I say lilac petals and it's lavender this time, I'm going to be angry. But, you know, there's so much musk here that there could be rose petals, there could be white petals of some kind, there could be jasmine, geranium. This is not an excuse for me not delivering on tons of descriptors. I think I've said this about Washington Wicks before, where when I smell these conceptual candles, I skip, oh, it has this, it has this, it has this. To me, that's not even what's really important anyway. It's the effect with an A. Where does the candle take us? You gotta follow your nose. You gotta follow your nose. That's what it's all about. Using your imagination and not being afraid to go anywhere your nose tells you. With the image, with the theming, and with my own database of my own knowledge and things that I enjoy, old horror and stage plays and Stevie Nicks. You see all these places I went to in my head. Your imagination is allowed to do the work. Okay, so the fragrance notes, they're not on the candles, so I had to go online here on Nikki's Instagram page, Washington Wicks Instagram page. "Welcome to DARKLORE Manor. We've been dying to have you stay." What did I say? So you wanted to visit a haunted house? Come on in, right? I don't know. A dark and mysterious scent, yes, of velvet-lined coffins. I'm always wanting to say things smell like velvet. Creaky wood floors, dusty shelves, yes, dusty, powdery, and hints of the butler's old aftershave. He's a butler? I guess he could be a butler. I was calling him a chauffeur or the ticket taker. Maybe for you, this candle will be a story about this butler who's greeting us from the outside. DARKLORE Manor by Washington Wicks. Look, folks, Washington Wicks, I can't say enough about them. Really making special scents, putting amazing things into wax. It makes me so happy to see that she's still at it and she's still pushing the envelope. All the links to Washington Wicks, how to purchase, social media, all that good stuff down in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. There's going to be plenty more unboxings down the path, but there's also going to be a lot of travel. I am traveling on and off, and it's all getting compiled, it's all getting edited. All the ways you can help fund future adventures or future videos down below. Take a second to look in the description. A lot of great stuff down there. All of 100% of the proceeds, 100%, every penny, goes right back into the funding of all the videos. But just remember, you are supporting the channel. Your viewership is the most essential part. I'll talk to you guys soon, but until then, be good, will you? It's empty.